Hello friends, welcome to Insights Icon Initiative. In today's video, we are going to discuss about two issues. Mainly, one is regarding the political parties and the symbols and how ECA will regulate such particular thing. And the second one we are going to discuss is stubble burning. And before we discuss about these two issues, first let us focus on today's theme of the day. Today's theme of the day is about historical background of Indian Constitution. Actually, historical background of Indian Constitution, it helps in both your modern history, that is Indian national movement, as well as the making of Constitution, okay, in polity point of view as well. From this particular area, questions will be asked mainly, they are mainly focusing on the features of the particular acts, such as Parliamentary reforms, Montesquieu reforms, and Government of India Act 1935. Actually, this particular area encompasses from Regulating Act 1773 till the Indian Independence Act 1947. Is a broad range of acts. From these acts, questions can be framed. Now you can take this as an assignment and try to finish this particular topic within one day, so that your revision also will be done. And this is one of the very important topic, and every year at least you can expect one question either directly or indirectly. Mainly they are focusing on provisions of relevant acts. We have to remember the timelines and related developments in and around the particular act. For example, Parliamentary Reforms Act was made in 1909. But even though the act was made and even though the act was giving the separate electorate to Muslims, that was a result of the certain events prior to the 1909, such as 1905 Bengal partition and 1906 the establishment of the All India Muslim League. Those two events, the results of these two events reflected in parliamentary reforms. So you have to read in that manner rather than straight away going through the the provisions of the acts. Let's see how the questions can be framed. This question is from 2012 UPSC Prelims exam. The distribution of powers between the center and the state in the Indian Constitution is based on the scheme provided in. This question is mainly focusing on the federal nature of India is taken from which of the following act. The question is all about. You know that Government of India Act 1935, it expected the federal form of government in India, but of course it was not realized because princely states were reluctant to join in that. So based on that theme, this question was framed. I hope you understood how the questions are being asked. Now let us focus on today's current issues. The first one is regarding the allocation of election symbols to the political parties, which is related to General Studies paper 2, that is Indian polity. Stubble burning, which is related to General Studies paper 3, that is environment. Now first, our focus will be on the topic number 1, allocation of election symbols to political party. Why we are discussing this? We are discussing because in Telangana, BRS, Bharatiya Rashtra Samiti, they approached to Supreme Court that the symbols of two political parties, of course they are not recognized parties, but they are registered parties. Symbols of those political parties are somewhat similar to this BRS symbol, okay, and because of that they are losing votes. And they requested the Supreme Court that Supreme Court can give certain orders that those two symbols cannot be used by any political parties. But Supreme Court reluctant to give that orders because the party, BRS party, approached too late to Supreme Court. That is the reason behind. So meanwhile, let us keep this political discussion aside. As an aspirant, you have to know how these election symbols will be allocated, based on what order, and what are the recognized parties and registered parties, and for these registered parties, of course, there are two types of registered parties. Some registered parties are recognized as a state party as well as national party, and some are unrecognized registered parties. We will see this one. And how the symbols will be given, especially when the party divided into two factions. It was evident especially in the latest episode of Shiva Sena, when Shiva Sena split into two factions. Finally, Election Commission of India given the Shiva Sena symbol to this Eknath faction. How that will be decided, that is also we will discuss in this particular video. And how many national parties are there in India? In India we are having 6 national parties. Now let us see. Supreme Court refused to entertain petition filed by Bharat Rashtra Samiti party in Telangana challenging the allotment of similar symbols to two other political parties. Here the Election Commission of India normally they allocate symbols to political parties based on Election Symbols Reservation and Allotment Order 1968. Based on that, they give the symbols. And this order specifies the reservation of symbols, and allotment of symbols in both assembly as well as the parliament elections. Here you have to remember one thing. Any political party, if they did not contest in 2 consecutive elections, they lose their symbol. Okay, that is what happened, especially to Janasena. That is what happened in Andhra Pradesh. Again, they have to apply for the symbols because they did not contest in 2014 as well as the 20. I mean, of course, they contested in 2018, but in Telangana, they did not contest because of that, and they were on the verge of losing the symbol. But of course, they applied for the same symbol, and no other party was applied, and this is the party, and it is contesting in and around certain constituencies. That is the reason Election Commission of India agreed to allocate whatever the symbol they are having originally, their symbol was given to them. Okay, even though they did not contest in last 2 elections. In the other constituencies, that symbol can be allocated to some other people. This is mainly the problem if a political party did not contest in 2 consecutive elections. Symbols can be either reserved symbols or free symbols. Reserved symbols means they are reserved exclusive to certain political parties, whereas free symbols means those symbols are available to anyone, and anyone can choose based on the first come first basis. And once a particular symbol is allocated to a political party, those symbols will be officially announced in a gazette of India. At the moment, 6 national parties are there. They are recognized as national parties, 26 state parties, and 2597 registered but unrecognized parties are there in India. Unrecognized and registered parties, they can get the free symbols, and these free symbols are not exclusive to them. They can choose symbols out of the list of symbols given by the Election Commission of India, and they can also propose symbol as well, but the symbols should not violate certain norms. I will tell you what are those norms. 1968 order. Through 1968 order, Election Commission of India is allocating the symbols to political parties. Symbols proposed by the political parties. As I mentioned earlier, sometimes political parties also can propose symbols. They should satisfy these things, such as they should not resemble to any existing party symbols, and they should not reflect any religious or communal connotation, or they should not depict any bird or animal directly. Next, what happens when a recognized party splits? So this particular situation will be dealt by Part 15 of the Symbols Order 1968, Part 15. So when a particular political party splits, first ECA will see which faction is having the majority. In deciding that, first it will check the office bearers. So if office bearers support, office bearers means the people who are in the official position of the party, district level and mandal level and village level and state level. If the office bearer support is inconclusive, then they'll take the support of the MLAs and MPs. That is legislative party. If the legislative party support is also inconclusive, then the original symbol will be kept on reserve, and the 2 factions can choose their own separate symbols. That is the case. That is the reason originally when Shiva Sena split, Eknath Shinde as well as the other part, Uddhav Thackeray faction, they got separate symbols. Meanwhile, the court proceedings were happening. Once the ECA decided that this Eknath Shinde faction should get the actual symbol, and finally, so they got the actual symbol, and this Uddhav Thackeray faction, they got the separate symbol. This is how generally it will be decided. And while allocating symbol to a particular political party, especially during the time when a political party splits, ECA will consider these things: aim and objective of the party constitution, and the party's constitution procedure, and finally the test of majority. In the test of majority, they will consider both office bearers as well as the legislative party. This is the information regarding the Election Commission of India Symbols Order. Next, we are going to discuss about stubble burning. The positive news is stubble burning is reduced in Punjab. Because of that, the breathing conditions and the air quality also improves in Punjab. So first we'll see what is stubble burning. Stubble burning is mainly related to crops such as paddy and wheat. After harvesting these crops residue will be remain. So this crop residue actually they have to be get rid of through this solid waste management methods. But obviously farmers are suffering from high input cost. So because of that, they are opting very cheap method such as the stubble burning. They are simply burning that remaining crop residue, that leading to lot of pollution. Not only in states like Punjab and Haryana, it is also leading to a lot of pollution in Delhi as well. So government of India took certain initiatives to reduce the stubble burning, and they are also encouraging certain equipment, and they also announced a certain cash incentive as well. We will discuss all such measures in this particular issue. Stubble burning. Punjab is breathing easy because of the reduced stubble burning. Almost all 50% of reduction in stubble burning happened. Stubble burning. Stubble burning is all about the burning of residual crop matters related to paddy and wheat. Why farmers are opting for the stubble burning? Because it is a very cost effective method. Once this burning is done, the agriculture field is ready for the seeding, so the next crop can be carried forward, especially because of this high input cost of farming. And recently Happy Seeder was developed by the Indian Council for Agriculture Research. Happy Seeder is all about when this can decompose this crop residue very easily, so that they will not go to the stubble burning. So areas where this practice is very high. This stubble burning is very prevalent in states such as Punjab, Haryana, UP, Rajasthan and National Capital Region of Delhi. Impact of agriculture fire. How this stubble burning impacts? It impacts in terms of environment pollution as well as it is also harmful to soil. How? Soil contains some of the useful bacteria to plant as well, such as nitrogen fixing bacteria. When this stubble burning is carried out, obviously that useful bacteria will die down. That is one of the negative impact of the stubble burning. Steps taken by government to reduce the stubble burning. Promotion of agriculture mechanization for in situ management of crop residue. Rather than burning this crop residue, in the crop itself, in the agriculture field itself, in a better way to manage that, the Punjab, Haryana and UP government, they are promoting the agriculture mechanization, so that the crop residue will be processed over there itself rather than opting for the stubble burning. And farmers are providing the 50% of financial assistance towards the machinery which are processing the crop residue. Pusa decomposer by Indian Agriculture Research Institute. It decomposes stubble within 20 to 25 days after the spray. So the entire stubble become manure. So it also improves the quality of the soil health as well. Apart from this, governments are sensitizing the farmers as well. In 2022, Punjab government, they provided a cash incentive of 2,500 rupees per acre to farmers who are not opting for the stubble burning. This is the issue of stubble burning. Now let us see yesterday's video question. The formation of ozone hole in the Antarctic region has been a cause of concern. What could be the reason for the formation of this hole? What could be the reason for this ozone hole formation? This is due to mainly prominent polar front and stratospheric clouds and inflow of the chlorofluorocarbons. This polar front, because of that, the stratospheric clouds are experiencing a lot of these hydrochlorocarbons, and that is leading to the formation of this ozone hole. It is also indirectly related to Earth's rotation on its own axis. That is also affecting this formation of ozone hole. You have to remember one thing: ozone hole is the yearly phenomenon. In a particular year, in a particular time, this ozone hole become very wider, and in the other time, it will get, like the perimeter or the size of the ozone hole will reduce during particular seasons. So it is constantly changing. It is not a fixed one. Let's see today's video question. On the basis of the criteria issued by the Election Commission of India, what is the minimum number of states in which political party must be recognized to be termed as national party? Okay, for a party to be recognized as a national party, at least in how many number of states it has to be recognized as a state party? Comment. Mains question. Discuss the issue related to stubble burning and impact on air pollution. What is the impact of the stubble burning on the air pollution? This is today's mains question. Now we are reaching to the end of this video. Okay students, as we reach to the end of this video, in this particular video we discussed about ECI as well as how the ECI will give or allocate symbols to the political party and its order in 1968, and what happens when political party splits. Apart from that, we also discussed about the stubble burning, and this is the detailed analysis of the current issues.